What if simplifying every aspect of your life could release you from the weight of worries, like a cool breeze cutting through the heat of a sweltering day? Wouldn't that be wonderful? Imagine this. Instead of juggling 1,000 tasks at once, you focus on just one with complete dedication and clarity. Could you achieve levels of peace and productivity you never thought possible? Life often feels like an endless cycle of busyness and chaos. But what if I told you there's a path that leads to simplicity, serenity, and balance? A path rooted in the ancient teachings of the Buddha, guiding us toward liberation from unnecessary suffering. In this journey, I've gathered lessons inspired by Buddhist principles, offering practical ways to live fully without the burden of unnecessary complications. This is about more than just simplifying your surroundings. It's about freeing your mind, heart, and spirit to find true happiness. If this is your first time joining me, I invite you to support this journey by subscribing and sharing your thoughts at the end of this reflection. Let's embark together on this path of simplicity, where even the smallest changes can create profound transformations. Take this as your challenge. Stay with me until the end. One of these principles could unlock a life of peace you've never experienced before. Let's begin. 1. Simplify your life. In the Buddha's teachings, life is often described as a river. It flows, bends, and meanders through various terrains, and when it becomes clogged with debris, the flow is obstructed, leading to stagnation. This is much like our lives when they are overwhelmed by distractions, unnecessary responsibilities, and the pursuit of things that do not truly matter. Simplifying your life is not just a practical step, it is a spiritual one. For me, the first step was understanding what truly matters. I started to observe the countless things I held onto, tasks, possessions, and even thoughts that served no meaningful purpose. They were like weights, holding me down in the river of life. The Buddha taught that clinging is a root cause of suffering, and I began to see this truth in my own life. The more I let go, the lighter I felt. This process of simplification is about asking yourself, what truly aligns with my values? What brings clarity, peace, and joy into my life? For years, I chased goals and fulfilled obligations that didn't resonate with me. By stepping back, reflecting, and aligning my actions with what I valued most, kindness, mindfulness, and compassion, I discovered a sense of purpose I hadn't felt before. Letting go of distractions became my practice. I stopped saying yes to everything and began to focus on the few things that genuinely enriched my life. By clearing my mind and schedule of the clutter, I could give my full attention to what truly mattered, whether it was spending time with loved ones, meditating, or pursuing meaningful work. Simplifying your life is not about avoiding challenges or responsibilities. It is about creating space to breathe, space to be present, and space to cultivate the qualities that lead to true peace. The Buddha's teachings remind us that the path to liberation begins by letting go. Start small. Release one unnecessary commitment, one toxic thought, or one unused possession. With each release, you'll move closer to a life of simplicity and serenity. 2. The idea that less is more. The Buddha once said, "You only lose what you cling to." These words have been a guiding light for me in understanding the power of minimalism. Our modern lives are overflowing with things, possessions, commitments, digital noise, that create an illusion of fulfillment, but often leave us feeling empty. The truth is, less is more, and simplicity is the path to clarity and peace. I used to think having more meant being more successful, more secure, more complete. But the more I accumulated, the more tangled my life became. It was like adding branches to a fire, hoping for warmth, only to smother the flame. That's when I turned to the teachings of the Buddha, who spoke of renouncing attachments as a way to freedom. Embracing minimalism doesn't mean renouncing all worldly things. It means rethinking what you truly need. I began to let go of possessions that no longer served me, clothes I hadn't worn in years, gadgets that gathered dust, and even friendships that drained my energy. With each act of letting go, I felt a profound lightness, as if I were shedding layers of unnecessary armor. But minimalism goes beyond the physical. It's about simplifying the mind. The endless chatter of worries and desires can cloud our awareness, pulling us away from the present moment. By reducing mental clutter, whether through meditation, journaling, or simply focusing on the breath, I found that my mind became clearer, my heart more open, and my actions more intentional. Less is more, because it frees us to focus on what matters, the connections we cherish, the beauty of a single moment, and the inner peace that arises when we stop chasing and start being. The Buddha taught that happiness does not come from acquiring, but from being content with what we have and who we are. Simplifying your life in this way is not about sacrifice. It's about liberation. Each step you take to embrace less brings you closer to the freedom and clarity that the Buddha's path offers. 3. Redefine your idea of success. In the Buddha's teachings, true success is not measured by wealth, status, or accolades, but by the peace and fulfillment we cultivate within. Yet, in the world around us, success is often defined by external achievements: how much we earn, how we appear to others, or the titles we hold. For years, I chased this definition of success, only to find it left me feeling empty, disconnected from myself, and always wanting more. The turning point came when I asked myself a simple but profound question: what truly brings me happiness? The Buddha teaches that the source of suffering is craving, our endless pursuit of things we think will complete us. This craving is often fueled by societal expectations, convincing us that we need to achieve certain milestones to be worthy or happy. But happiness doesn't come from the outside. It comes from aligning with our inner values. I began to redefine success in my own terms. Instead of striving to impress others or reach arbitrary goals, I focused on living a life that reflected my deepest values: compassion, mindfulness, and service to others. Success, for me, became about how much peace I could create in my life and how much kindness I could offer to those around me. Redefining success also meant letting go of comparison. In the past, I often measured my progress against others, always feeling inadequate. But the Buddha reminds us that each of us is on a unique path, and true joy comes from embracing our own journey. By focusing on what truly matters to me, I've found a sense of purpose and contentment that no external reward could provide. Take a moment to ask yourself, what does success mean to you? What aligns with your values, brings you joy, and nurtures your spirit? Let go of society's script and write your own. In doing so, you'll find a sense of fulfillment that no material achievement can match. 4. Let go of unnecessary weight. The Buddha often compared life to a journey, and to travel lightly, we must release what no longer serves us. Yet, so many of us carry unnecessary weight, whether in the form of toxic relationships, physical clutter, or unrealistic expectations. These burdens drain our energy and cloud our minds, keeping us from experiencing the freedom and joy that come from living simply. For me, the first step in letting go was recognizing what was holding me back. Toxic relationships were a significant burden. I held on to connections that brought negativity into my life, fearing the discomfort of letting them go. But the Buddha teaches that clinging to what causes suffering only prolongs our pain. When I finally found the courage to release those ties, I discovered space for healthier, more uplifting relationships to flourish. Letting go of physical clutter was another step toward freedom. My home was filled with objects I didn't need, yet I held on to them out of habit or sentimentality. I realized that these possessions were not bringing me joy. They were just taking up space, both physically and mentally. With each item I donated or discarded, I felt lighter, as if I were clearing room for new possibilities. But perhaps the hardest burden to release was the unrealistic expectations I had for myself. I constantly pushed myself to achieve more, be more, and do more, believing that perfection was the only acceptable standard. The Buddha's teachings helped me understand that perfection is an illusion, and that true peace comes from accepting ourselves as we are. By practicing self-compassion and setting realistic goals, I found a sense of balance and ease I never thought possible. Letting go is not easy. It requires courage, honesty, and a willingness to face discomfort. But the freedom it brings is worth every effort. Start small. Release one toxic connection, declutter one corner of your home, or let go of one unrealistic expectation. With each step, you'll move closer to a life of lightness and peace, just as the Buddha intended. 5. Focus on what truly matters. In the Buddha's teachings, the ability to focus on what truly matters is essential for a life of clarity and peace. Our minds are like lamps, and when we spread their light too thinly, they fail to illuminate anything fully. When I looked at my life, I saw a web of commitments pulling me in countless directions, leaving me exhausted and disconnected from what mattered most. The first step for me was to pause and reflect. The Buddha often spoke about mindfulness, bringing awareness to the present moment, and I applied this to my life as a whole. I began asking myself, where is my energy going? Are these activities or relationships aligned with my values? I realized that much of my time was spent on commitments that didn't bring fulfillment or joy. Focusing on what truly matters required me to set priorities. Instead of trying to do everything, I chose a few key areas to devote my energy: nurturing meaningful relationships, cultivating mindfulness, and pursuing activities that aligned with my purpose. This process wasn't about neglecting responsibilities, but about honoring what was most important. One of the hardest lessons was learning to say no. Like many people, I had a tendency to overcommit, fearing that saying no would disappoint others. But the Buddha reminds us that our peace cannot depend on the approval of others. By respectfully declining unnecessary commitments, I created space in my life for what truly mattered. Focusing on priorities isn't about perfection, it's about intention. Some days, I still get caught up in distractions, but I've learned to gently guide myself back to what's essential. When you align your actions with your values, life feels less chaotic and more meaningful. Take a moment today to reflect on your priorities. What truly matters to you? What commitments can you release to honor those priorities? As you do this, you'll find a sense of purpose and peace that no amount of busyness can provide. 6. Create a harmonious space. The Buddha taught that our external environment often reflects the state of our inner world. If our surroundings are chaotic, it's likely that our minds will be too. I discovered this truth firsthand when I looked at my own living space. It was cluttered, disorganized, and far from the serene haven I needed. It became clear to me that simplifying my physical environment was a key step toward inner peace. The first thing I did was take a mindful inventory of my space. I noticed how many possessions I had accumulated over the years, things I didn't use or need but held onto out of habit or sentimentality. The Buddha spoke of the importance of non-attachment, and I began to practice this by letting go of items that no longer served a purpose. I donated clothes, cleared out unnecessary furniture, and organized my belongings in a way that felt intentional. Creating harmony in my space wasn't just about decluttering. It was about creating an environment that nurtured peace. I introduced small touches that brought joy and tranquility. Plants, soft lighting, and a meditation corner where I could sit quietly and reconnect with myself. Each change I made to my space felt like a step toward greater clarity and balance. I also learned the value of maintaining my space daily. Instead of letting clutter pile up, I committed to small acts of tidying each day, treating it as a mindfulness practice. Sweeping the floor, folding clothes, or arranging a table became opportunities to center myself and bring awareness to the present moment. A harmonious space isn't about having the most beautiful or minimalistic home. It's about creating a sanctuary that supports your well-being. When your space feels calm and organized, your mind follows suit. Take a moment to look at your surroundings. What small changes can you make today to bring more harmony into your space? By transforming your environment, you'll find it easier to cultivate the inner peace that the Buddha spoke of so often. 7. Let go of unnecessary drama. The Buddha's teachings remind us that much of our suffering is self-created. Drama, whether it stems from gossip, unresolved conflicts, or unnecessary emotional entanglements, is a burden we often choose to carry. I once found myself caught in this cycle, expending energy on petty disputes and stories that didn't serve me. Letting go of unnecessary drama became one of the most liberating steps I ever took. The first shift I made was to step away from gossip. Gossip, though tempting, only fuels negativity and disrupts inner peace. The Buddha encouraged practicing right speech, words that are kind, true, and beneficial. I began to reflect before speaking. Is this necessary? Is it kind? If not, I stayed silent. By avoiding gossip, I not only protected my peace, but also strengthened my relationships with others by fostering trust and authenticity. Another practice I embraced was cultivating empathy. The Buddha taught that understanding others' perspectives is the foundation of compassion. When conflicts arose, instead of reacting with anger or judgment, I took a step back and tried to see the situation through the other person's eyes. This shift in mindset diffused tension and often led to constructive resolutions. For instance, when a colleague upset me with a harsh comment, I paused and considered their stress and struggles. Instead of escalating the situation, I responded with understanding, and our relationship improved. Resolving conflicts constructively became another pillar of my practice. Ignoring issues only allowed them to fester, while confronting them mindfully created space for growth and healing. I learned to communicate honestly and respectfully, focusing on solutions rather than blame. The result was fewer misunderstandings and a greater sense of harmony in my relationships. Letting go of drama isn't about avoiding life's challenges, but choosing not to amplify them unnecessarily. With every instance of gossip you skip, every empathetic gesture you make, and every conflict you resolve peacefully, you create more space for calm and clarity. Let go of drama and watch your life transform into a sanctuary of peace. 8. Make the most of your time. Time is one of the most precious resources we have, yet it's often squandered on distractions and activities that don't bring fulfillment. The Buddha emphasized mindfulness and living in the present moment, and I found that these principles are essential for making the most of our time. For me, it started with planning. Instead of letting my days unfold haphazardly, I began setting intentions each morning. What did I want to accomplish? How could I prioritize activities that aligned with my values and goals? This simple act of planning gave my days structure and purpose, helping me focus on what truly mattered. Organizing my time also meant eliminating distractions. The Buddha taught that mental clarity comes from simplifying the mind, and I applied this lesson to my schedule. I started blocking specific times for deep work, free from interruptions. I also limited my exposure to digital distractions, like unnecessary notifications and endless scrolling on social media. By creating boundaries, I reclaimed hours I didn't even realize I was losing. Another transformative practice was prioritizing meaningful activities. Instead of filling my calendar with tasks that felt urgent but unimportant, I focused on what truly brought me joy and growth. This included spending time with loved ones, meditating, learning new skills, and contributing to my community. I found that these activities enriched my life far more than simply checking items off a to-do list. Finally, I learned the importance of saying no. The Buddha often spoke of letting go, and this includes releasing obligations that don't serve your higher purpose. By respectfully declining unnecessary commitments, I created more space for what truly mattered. Making the most of your time isn't about doing more. It's about doing what aligns with your values and brings you peace. Reflect on how you spend your days. Are your actions aligned with your intentions? Start small. Plan your day, minimize distractions, and prioritize what nourishes your soul. In this way, you'll discover the timeless wisdom of the Buddha in every moment. 9. The magic of saying no. The Buddha's teachings emphasize the importance of guarding our energy and focus, yet many of us struggle with setting boundaries, often saying yes to obligations and requests out of fear of disappointing others. For me, learning the power of saying no was transformative, a way to honor my own needs and create space for what truly matters. At first, I found it difficult to say no. I worried about being seen as selfish or unhelpful, but the Buddha taught that wisdom involves understanding what serves our well-being and what detracts from it. I realized that every time I said yes to something that didn't align with my values or priorities, I was effectively saying no to my peace of mind. Setting boundaries became an act of self-respect. When someone asked for more of my time than I could give, I began to respond thoughtfully and honestly. For example, instead of agreeing to help with a project that would overwhelm me, I would say, "I appreciate you thinking of me, but I can't commit to that right now." To my surprise, people respected my honesty, and I felt a sense of relief and empowerment. Saying no also extended to my inner world. I started rejecting self-imposed pressures to be perfect or to meet unrealistic expectations. The Buddha reminds us that clinging to such ideals leads to suffering. By practicing self-compassion and letting go of the need to please everyone, I found greater clarity and focus. The magic of saying no is not about shutting others out. It's about creating the space to say yes to what truly nourishes your soul. Protect your energy by setting clear boundaries and prioritizing your own well-being. Each time you say no with mindfulness and kindness, you're affirming your right to live with intention and balance. 10. Well-being in the digital age. In today's world, the digital landscape can feel like an endless stream of distractions and noise. While technology offers convenience and connection, it can also lead to overwhelm and disconnection from ourselves. The Buddha's teachings on mindfulness provide a guide for navigating the digital age with balance and awareness. For me, the first step was setting healthy digital boundaries. I noticed how often I reached for my phone out of habit, losing hours scrolling through social media or responding to notifications. The Buddha's principle of mindful action inspired me to approach technology with greater intention. I began by designating screen-free times each day, particularly in the mornings and evenings. This simple change allowed me to start and end my day with a sense of calm rather than digital noise. Another practice I adopted was taking regular breaks from social media. The constant comparison and influx of information were draining my energy and focus. By stepping back periodically, I found more time for meaningful activities, reading, meditating, or simply enjoying a quiet moment. These breaks helped me reconnect with what truly mattered. Balancing online and offline life also meant prioritizing face-to-face interactions. I made a conscious effort to spend more time with loved ones in person, sharing conversations and experiences that nourish my soul in ways digital communication never could. These connections reminded me of the Buddha's teachings on the importance of genuine relationships and human connection. Finally, I learned to use technology mindfully. Instead of letting it control me, I began using it as a tool to support my growth and well-being. I turned off unnecessary notifications, curated my online spaces to reflect my values, and focused on using technology in ways that enhanced my life rather than detracting from it. Living well in the digital age isn't about rejecting technology. It's about using it with wisdom and balance. Take time to reflect on your digital habits. Are they serving your peace and purpose, or are they pulling you away from what truly matters? With mindfulness, you can create a harmonious relationship with technology, fostering well-being in every aspect of your life. 11. Discover the power of simplicity. The Buddha's teachings often remind us that peace is found not in the abundance of things, but in the simplicity of being. In a world that celebrates excess and complexity, embracing simplicity is a radical act. I used to believe that having more possessions, more commitments, more achievements would bring happiness. But I discovered that the opposite is true. It was when I simplified my life that I uncovered a sense of joy and freedom I had never experienced before. Simplicity begins with appreciating small moments. The Buddha taught the importance of mindfulness, of being fully present in whatever we are doing. I started to notice the beauty in the seemingly mundane. A warm cup of tea in the morning, the sound of leaves rustling in the wind, or the laughter of children playing nearby. These moments, though small, hold profound joy when experienced with full awareness. Focusing on quality over quantity also transformed my life. I began to let go of the need for more and instead chose to value the few things that truly mattered, whether it was a close friendship, a cherished possession, or the time spent doing something meaningful. For example, instead of cluttering my days with endless activities, I prioritized those that brought genuine fulfillment, like meditating, reading, or spending time with loved ones. Simplicity also meant decluttering my physical and mental space. I started by clearing out items I no longer used or needed, donating them to others who could benefit. With each item I let go of, I felt lighter, as if I were shedding layers of unnecessary weight. In the same way, I worked to declutter my mind by letting go of worries, regrets, and unrealistic expectations. The power of simplicity lies in its ability to bring clarity and focus. When we free ourselves from the distractions of excess, we create space for what truly matters. The Buddha's wisdom teaches us that less is not just more, it is enough. Embrace simplicity, and you will find that the path to peace is closer than you ever imagined. 12. Find yourself. The Buddha often spoke of the importance of self-reflection and knowing oneself as a foundation for true liberation. In the rush of daily life, it's easy to lose sight of who we are and what we value. For years, I was caught in this cycle, consumed by external demands and disconnected from my inner self. It was only when I slowed down and turned inward that I began to rediscover who I truly was. Finding yourself starts with self-reflection. I carved out quiet moments to sit with my thoughts, away from distractions. Meditation became a cornerstone of this practice, allowing me to observe my mind without judgment. I began to notice patterns, what brought me joy, what caused stress, and what I truly valued. This awareness was the first step toward reconnecting with myself. Reconnecting with passions and forgotten dreams was another powerful part of this journey. I remembered hobbies I had loved but abandoned, like playing music and writing. When I started to engage with these activities again, I felt a sense of vitality and purpose that had been missing. The Buddha taught that joy arises when we align with our true nature, and for me, these passions were a doorway to that joy. Embracing solitude also played a key role. In a world that often equates busyness with success, taking time alone can feel countercultural, yet it was in moments of solitude, walking in nature, sitting by the ocean, or simply being still, that I found clarity and connection to my inner self. The Buddha likened solitude to a fertile field where the seeds of wisdom can grow. Finding yourself is not about creating a new version of who you are, but uncovering the essence of who you've always been. It's about peeling back the layers of distractions, expectations, and fears to reveal your true self. Take time for self-reflection, reignite your passions, and embrace moments of quiet. In doing so, you will find that the peace and purpose you seek have always been within you. 13. Embrace imperfection. The Buddha's teachings remind us that striving for perfection is like chasing a mirage. It leads only to frustration and suffering. I used to hold myself to impossibly high standards, constantly criticizing my flaws and failures. Over time, I realized this mindset only deepened my dissatisfaction. The Buddha's wisdom helped me understand that true peace comes from accepting imperfection as an inherent part of life. The first step was learning to accept my flaws. I began to see them not as defects, but as unique traits that shaped my humanity. The Buddha often spoke of self-compassion, encouraging us to treat ourselves with the same kindness we would offer a friend. Instead of berating myself for mistakes, I started to acknowledge them with gentleness and understanding. For example, when I struggled to master a new skill, I reminded myself that growth is a process and that missteps are part of the journey. Growing through failures became another cornerstone of my practice. The Buddha taught that life is filled with challenges, and each difficulty presents an opportunity for learning and transformation. Instead of fearing failure, I began to embrace it as a teacher. When a project didn't go as planned or a goal remained out of reach, I reflected on what I could learn from the experience. Each failure, I realized, was a stepping stone to greater resilience and wisdom. Celebrating authenticity was perhaps the most liberating lesson. In a world that often pressures us to conform, embracing who I truly am felt like an act of courage. I stopped comparing myself to others and started valuing my unique strengths and quirks. The Buddha reminds us that true happiness lies in being at peace with ourselves, not in meeting external expectations. Embracing imperfection doesn't mean settling for less. It means accepting yourself as you are while continuing to grow. Celebrate your flaws, honor your journey, and remember that even in imperfection, there is beauty. By doing so, you'll find a deep sense of freedom and peace that perfection could never offer. 14. Create routines for inner peace. The Buddha emphasized the importance of mindfulness and intentional living, and I found that creating routines is one of the best ways to cultivate inner peace. A well-designed routine isn't about rigidity. It's about setting a rhythm for your day that nurtures your mind, body, and spirit. For me, the journey to peaceful routines began with my mornings. Instead of starting the day in a rush, I carved out time for mindfulness practices. I began each day with a few moments of meditation, focusing on my breath and setting an intention for the day. This simple practice grounded me, creating a sense of clarity and calm before I faced the world. Evenings became another sacred part of my routine. The Buddha spoke of letting go, and I incorporated this principle into my nighttime rituals. Before bed, I spent time reflecting on the day, acknowledging what went well, and releasing any worries. I also created a soothing environment with soft lighting, a warm cup of tea, and a good book. These small acts signaled to my mind and body that it was time to rest. Integrating mindfulness into daily activities transformed even mundane tasks into moments of peace. Whether it was enjoying a meal, taking a walk, or tidying up, I practiced being fully present. The Buddha taught that mindfulness turns ordinary moments into opportunities for connection and joy, and I've found this to be true in my own life. Prioritizing rest and exercise also became essential. I made time for activities that energized me, like yoga or walking in nature, while ensuring I got enough sleep to recharge. The Buddha likened the mind and body to a well-tuned instrument, and caring for both allowed me to approach each day with balance and focus. Creating routines for inner peace is a way to align your daily life with your deeper values. Start with small changes. A moment of mindfulness in the morning, a reflective practice at night, or a mindful walk during the day. Over time, these routines will weave peace and harmony into the fabric of your life. 15. Simplify your relationships. The Buddha often taught that the quality of our relationships greatly influences the quality of our lives. Yet, many of us carry the weight of complicated, draining, or superficial connections. I've found that simplifying my relationships, fostering open communication, setting boundaries, and focusing on meaningful connections has been transformative for my peace of mind. Open communication is the cornerstone of any healthy relationship. The Buddha emphasized right speech, words that are truthful, kind, and necessary. I realized how often misunderstandings arose because I avoided expressing my feelings or needs. By practicing honesty with compassion, I began to clear away unnecessary tension in my relationships. For instance, when a friend's behavior upset me, I shared my feelings respectfully instead of letting resentment fester. This openness strengthened our bond and allowed for mutual understanding. Setting boundaries was another crucial step. The Buddha taught the importance of protecting one's inner peace, and I realized that overcommitting or tolerating unhealthy dynamics only drained my energy. I started to say no when needed, not out of selfishness, but to preserve my well-being. For example, when a colleague frequently asked for favors beyond my capacity, I learned to communicate my limits clearly. This not only reduced my stress, but also helped establish healthier interactions. Focusing on meaningful connections became my guiding principle. Instead of spreading my energy thinly across numerous acquaintances, I chose to nurture relationships that truly mattered, those built on mutual respect, support, and shared values. I let go of connections that felt toxic or one-sided, freeing myself from unnecessary drama and emotional strain. The Buddha reminds us that the people we surround ourselves with should uplift and inspire us, not pull us down. Simplifying your relationships doesn't mean isolating yourself. It means prioritizing quality over quantity. Foster open communication, set healthy boundaries, and focus on the connections that bring you joy and growth. By doing so, you'll create a circle of relationships that enrich your life and align with the peace and harmony you seek. 16. Let go of material possessions. The Buddha's teachings on non-attachment have profound implications for how we view material possessions. I used to hold on to things, clothes, gadgets, and trinkets, believing they added value to my life. But over time, I realized they were more of a burden than a blessing. Letting go of material possessions and prioritizing experiences over things has brought me a sense of freedom and lightness. The first step was understanding the nature of attachment. The Buddha taught that clinging to impermanent things leads to suffering. I began to notice how much of my energy was tied up in acquiring, maintaining, or worrying about material items. I decided to declutter my life, starting with the possessions I hadn't used in years. I donated clothes, sold unnecessary gadgets, and gave away items that no longer brought me joy. Each time I let go, I felt a weight lift, as though I were shedding layers of unnecessary baggage. Prioritizing experiences over possessions became a natural extension of this practice. Instead of spending money on things that would eventually lose their novelty, I began investing in experiences that brought lasting joy, like traveling, spending time with loved ones, or learning new skills. The Buddha often spoke of the richness of the present moment, and I found that experiences allowed me to connect more deeply with life. This shift wasn't just about physical possessions, it extended to my mindset. I let go of the need for status symbols or the idea that my worth was tied to what I owned. The Buddha taught that true wealth lies in contentment, not accumulation. And this perspective helped me find peace in simplicity. Letting go of material possessions doesn't mean renouncing everything you own. It means being intentional about what you keep and focusing on what truly enriches your life. Reflect on your relationship with material things. Are they serving your happiness or weighing you down? By releasing attachment to possessions, you'll create space for the experiences and connections that truly matter. 17. The power of daily gratitude. The Buddha's teachings often remind us to focus on what we have rather than what we lack. Gratitude, in its simplest form, is the practice of appreciating life as it is. I used to overlook this, often dwelling on challenges or things I thought were missing from my life. But when I began practicing daily gratitude, everything changed. It transformed not only how I saw the world, but how I responded to it. My journey with gratitude began with a simple practice: keeping a gratitude journal. Each evening, I would write down 3 things I was grateful for that day. Some days, it was something small, like the warmth of the sun on my face. Other days, it was something profound, like the support of a loved one during a difficult moment. This practice helped me shift my focus from problems to blessings, uncovering joy even in challenging times. The Buddha taught that challenges are opportunities for growth, and gratitude helps us see them as such. I remember a particularly stressful period at work when deadlines loomed and tensions were high. Instead of succumbing to frustration, I chose to focus on what I could be thankful for: the chance to learn new skills, the support of my team, and the strength I was developing through the experience. Gratitude didn't erase the stress, but it gave me the perspective to handle it with calm and clarity. Cultivating gratitude also deepened my connections with others. I began expressing thanks more often to friends, family, colleagues, and even strangers. The Buddha emphasized the importance of generosity and appreciation, and I found that showing gratitude strengthened my relationships and brought more kindness into my life. Gratitude is a powerful tool for transforming your perspective. Take a moment each day to reflect on what you're grateful for. Write it down, say it aloud, or simply hold it in your heart. Over time, you'll find that this practice not only transforms your outlook, but also brings a deep sense of peace and fulfillment. 18. A clear mind is a peaceful heart. The Buddha often likened the mind to a clear pool of water. When it is calm and undisturbed, it reflects the world perfectly. But when it is clouded by distractions, worries, and desires, it distorts our view of reality. I've learned that cultivating a clear mind through meditation, mindfulness, and connecting with my inner self is essential for finding peace. Meditation became my starting point. Each morning I set aside time to sit quietly, focusing on my breath. At first, my mind would wander endlessly, but over time, I learned to gently bring it back to the present moment. The Buddha taught that meditation calms the storms of the mind, and I found this to be true. Even a few minutes of daily meditation helped me feel more centered and less overwhelmed by life's demands. Mindfulness was the next step. It's the practice of being fully present in each moment, and it transformed the way I approached my day. Whether I was eating a meal, walking, or simply washing dishes, I brought my attention fully to the task at hand. The Buddha emphasized mindfulness as a path to liberation, and I discovered that it brought a profound sense of clarity and calm to even the most ordinary moments. Connecting with my inner self became a daily ritual. In a world filled with noise and distractions, taking time to reflect inward felt like coming home. I used journaling, self-inquiry, and quiet walks in nature to reconnect with my thoughts and feelings. The Buddha often spoke of self-awareness as the foundation for wisdom, and I found that the more I connected with myself, the clearer my path became. A clear mind is a peaceful heart. By cultivating stillness and mindfulness, you can find calm even in life's chaos. Start with a few moments of meditation each day. Practice being fully present in whatever you do, and take time to connect with your inner self. With these practices, you'll discover a sense of tranquility that allows you to navigate life with clarity and compassion.